Thanks so much for coming to our little celebration. You are some of our favorite people. You're our family or our chosen family. We're so very lucky to have you all here, especially considering Justyn and I literally decided to get married some 3 weeks ago. Speaking of making decisions like this is not the first time many of you know that we dive into things heads first. After meeting Justyn for drinks and dinner for our very first date, something possessed me to feel that it would be okay to get into this almost complete stranger guy's car and have him take me to an unknown location at night time. After he suggested we could kick on and go somewhere special if I wanted to. And against all odds, something amazing happened. We had the best sing-along to Cantonese pop songs on the way, which we discovered to be our shared nostalgia. And on a balmy summer night, we found ourselves at Burke's Lookout on the Dainty Ranges, watching the stars, watching the city light. We spent 5 days of that first week we met together, and we were very much together by the end of that. 2 weeks later, Justyn met my parents, just so happens. Another 2 weeks later, we moved in together. Well, a cat together, our cat, who can't be here today because we can't risk her running out. But she's our pride and joy, our biological child. And another month later, I met Justyn's parents too, and many more crazy adventures later, here we are. This is going to be really cringe, but 6 years ago I met someone who, for some reason, I felt like I've known for a very long time, and I can trust with all I have as soon as we met. And Justyn, as you all know, turned out to be just that person. Someone who is truly generous, deeply kind, and happened to be very beautiful, very funny, and just as weird as me, or probably more weird. And I'm just so happy that I have a lifetime to go to love someone like that. I want to thank Justyn's parents in particular for bringing him into this world. 谢谢爸爸妈妈带 Justyn 来这个世界，养大成人。And I want to thank you all for being in our lives and loving us. There's so much more I want to say, but it's speech time for him now, and we've got a lot of food to eat. And it's really not necessarily my dream to get married, but it's definitely my dream to get married at my favorite restaurant, and have all of my friends together and eat good food. So that's it for me.
All right, there's 7 pages of this. If you work with me like Zeiss does, you've been in a staff meeting with me, it does go on. But there are stories, I promise. We did not actually work with each other to write our speeches, so I apologize for some cross-referencing in stories. But hey everyone, thank you for being here today. 23 days ago, we decided to throw this celebration lunch. You were all unanimous with your responses. Of course, you guys decided to do this in 23 days. It's not long. 23 days is not long to plan a wedding, but we knew from the very first day that any sort of legal affair should feel effortless and not feel like just a step we have to get through. Our very first idea was a young child wedding. Some of you were there when we suggested the idea. However, our favorite young child restaurant has recently closed down. Gold Leaf Docklands, yeah, they have closed down. So, but the backup we joked would be at Lagoon, and we inquired many times with the staff here, what would it look like if we ever had a dinner here? After all, we've done with them, most of the time, as you would know. As we had this on and off conversation over the last few years, unbeknownst to us, we really were planning this wedding. So 23 days is not a long time, but when it was time to make it happen, things just fell in place because we knew what we wanted to do. Yep. From day one, we loved Chris and Kit's food here at Lagoon. We find that it encapsulated a lot of the flavors that we know growing up, but it's different. It's added complexity, it's got an Australian twist. We felt like that really represented how we feel as migrants, that we are a little bit different, a little bit more complex now, but we don't want to lose the essence of our flavor. In Chinese, there's a proverb, 饮水思源, which literally translates to, when you drink, remember the source of your water. It implies the importance of gratefulness for the people and events that lead us to what we have today. To my parents, my source, it took me a while to accept that you too, like us, are flawed. But here you are side by side in spite of the tumultuous journeys that you might have had in your marriage. It took through your own relationship, Mum. Yeah. So thank you. Mum, especially for being the sole breadwinner and champion who taught me early on that women can indeed be stronger than men, and that's okay. Dad, for teaching me to be fearless of life, to live in the moment, and most importantly, to look up for your chosen family, which is all of you. That's page 2. To my Uncle Suyan, thank you for showing me the ins and outs of Melbourne when I first moved here. I think moving to a foreign country is a very daunting task. To have family, it's really just makes things really smooth. And my cousin Ming, who I feel deeply connected to, and not just because we share the same love for Apple products. Sharina, Ming's lovely partner, for enduring our annual family's crazy beef eating spree. So every year, the Cole family sits down for a Wagyu beef barbecue buffet, and we time ourselves, and we make it a goal to make the receipt as long as possible. To Inshu, my longest friend since high school, you welcomed me, and together with Shihan, your lovely partner now, took me out on many road trips when I first moved here. Yeah. Thank you for organizing the door gifts, as well as the place cards and placing them here. Thank you, Winter, my best person. We've surely been through thick and thin, and even near-death experiences at rest. I'll leave her to tell you those stories today. Nan, Cherry's best person, for being a voice of reason that we can count on, to be honest, a pillar for Cherry, both in good or bad, and for our beautiful nails. I know I promised, but it's my day. I had this insane idea to thank everyone in this room, but I hear Cherry when she told me last night as I was writing this in bed at 11, everyone just wants to eat, and don't make it long. This is page 4. Everyone invited today feels like chosen family, and we are grateful because living abroad without family can at times be lonely, difficult, and alienating. I could not finish my speech today without talking about Cherry. I think something deep in the world surfaced the night we met. How we belted to Cantonese ballads on our random 40-minute drive to Mount Dandenong, after only meeting each other for a couple of drinks. I believe some of you present here today were very much worried, Siobhan, and for good reason. But suffice to say, it wasn't an ex-murderer's car that Cherry got into that night 6 years ago. Not yet, anyway. That night, we first kissed on the mountains overlooking the city lights of Melbourne. We discussed openly our views on relationships, that we agreed that a successful partnership can be just that, a partnership. Two individuals who grow and pursue their own passions, and that when it came time to be together to face challenges, we brought our respective strengths and knowledge to push the boundaries of what we can achieve together. There's not been a day where we haven't laughed together since that night, and I know that will be the case moving forward. I spent most of the speech writing process like a millennial, trying to research, quotes about love, poetry. I wanted to do poems. I looked at bell hooks, I looked at Sylvia Plath, I looked at Ocean Bomb. But instead, I kept getting drawn back to this movie I watched in 2004 as a teenager, the Western version of Shall We Dance? In it, a young Susan Sarandon grapples with the idea that the handsome Richard Gere, his husband, feels the need to pursue something outside of their marriage. When asked why she fervently and desperately holds onto her marriage, she says, "We all need a witness to our lives. There's 1 billion people on the planet. I mean, what does any one life really mean? But in a relationship, you're promising to care about everything, the good, the bad, the mundane, and all of it, all the time, every day. You're saying that your life will not go unnoticed because I will notice it. Your life will not go unwitnessed because I will be your witness. Cherry, since the day we met, I think we know deep down there will be each other's witness. I love you."
I'm going to now do the yum thing, which also in classic Justyn fashion, he just said this morning, "You're happy to do that, right? You know what it is, right?" And I'm like, "No, I don't." So I found this website. Basically, yum saying is another way to say cheers. I hope I'm not butchering any of this. And apparently it's a Cantonese term that means drink to victory and is used in the same way that we say cheers in Western culture in the English language. So it's usually done towards the end of the reception, just FYI, we're getting a little bit but that's okay. So I'm going to encourage everyone to raise your glasses and we're going to shout Yum Sing 3 times. Once for blissful marriage, secondly for eternal love for the couple, and finally, you're going to love this one, for fertility.
Many more cats in our lives.
And when we say yum, first we need to say it as long as we can, the biggest breath that you can, yum, and then at the end when you run out of breath, sing, and we're going to do that 3 times. Are you ready? Alright, 3, 2, 1, the first one.
Yeah!
And again, we're going to get that. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah!
And finally for those cats, more cats. 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah!
Thank you, everyone. Cheers.
18 cats. Perfect.
Should we come?
Yum sing.